Welcome back to Cinema 8. If you're making an independent film, the creativity and hard work doesn't stop after the movie is finished. That's still there's still the whole process of getting it promoted. And joining me today to talk about some of that is Dr. George Ellis, a filmmaker who's got some experience in doing sort of grassroots promotion. Dr. Ellis, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, can you just talk a little bit about some of the methods that you've seen in this kind of changing landscape of promoting independent films, and what have you seen that's been most effective in recent years?
So, in my opinion, networking is going to be the big part of getting your film, your video out there. Because you can make a video, you can make a film. It might be very good. It might be a good script. You could have a good crew and actors, but getting it out to an audience is difficult. Your initial audience is going to be your friends and family, and they're going to say you did a great job. But how do you reach beyond that to people that you don't really know? And it's going to be about networking, and that includes social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and then it's going to be actually participating in film groups and also in film festivals. That's the way you network into a world that is, unless you've been in film before, that's a world that you are not going to be familiar with, which I was not. And when I started making films, I said, well, there's got to be a way to get this out there. And fortunately, I had a mentor who was a cinematographer for me, who did my first videos and my first films. And she was able to guide me through film festivals and all the things on the internet, such as Facebook and Instagram. And progressively, as you start joining film groups, you start gravitating towards people, and then people are curious about your work and they look at it. Once you start attending film festivals and actually getting your film into the festivals, that's going to be the place where people start noticing you and saying, hey, this guy is new, but he's got some good work. The other thing, as far as film festivals and some events, is trying to sponsor some of it or helping to sponsor, because that gives you a little bit more of an edge to say, yeah, I'm so interested in doing this kind of work that I'm willing to put some dollars into the system to help promote the festival or the event, and also promote myself.
And just when you're applying to film festivals, imagine it's just a matter of just applying to as many as you can as possible, right? It's just seeing ones that you think will suit your film and just getting it out there and trying to just get it seen by as many people as possible.
That's true. And so there's a lot of film festivals out there. And somebody once told me there are festivals and there are festivals. So some film festivals are, you can apply. There's a fee, it's like $20, $30 to get into the festival. And then sometimes they have to select you. And then, you get into the festival and you're competing with the others. Sometimes you don't get in, and that's why you want to hit several film festivals, trying to get your probability of getting into one of those, and then getting into one and maybe getting an award. That's the way you do it. You use the law of probability by doing that. Now, of course, it's going to cost money to do that, and that's one of the issues, not only in going to film festivals and applying the fee, but also in doing film work. There's a cost involved with that. And so that's the challenge that I learned early that people have is trying to fund their film or trying to, finance their promotion. And so that's a limiting factor in a lot of cases in getting this kind of work done.
We have a lot of independent filmmakers here in Michigan and in Grand Rapids. Do you have any other specific advice you'd have for somebody outside of sort of the mainstream, or maybe not be around where there's film festivals, and how they might be able to cross over into a living and making money as a filmmaker?
Well, that's the next challenge. I mean, for the time being, my venture is, I always tell people, it's the greatest money losing proposition, because it's all cost. I don't make any money from doing this, because it's more of a hobby. But when you start thinking about trying to make some money with it, the way you're going to make some money is getting into, certain film festivals. They do compensate you. The awards, they do give you an award that's monetary. It's not just a trophy, so you may want to look for those. And then some independent film companies, like I pay people if they're working for me. If they're an actor or part of the crew, they're going to get paid because it's fair. We did a movie last year in Hollywood, California, on Mount Lee, which is where the Hollywood sign is. And that's a very attractive thing for someone who's getting into film work. So we had some people that came. They came from, like, I think one person came from Michigan or Minnesota, and she worked for free. She said, I just want the experience. I want to be here. This is a great opportunity for me. And there's a couple of other people that work for free also. So, there's, always being around the film world, try to be on a set, try to be humble because you're not an expert in the beginning. And eventually you will gain some, some notoriety, and people would say, hey, I've got this other film. I'll pay you to be on the crew, to hold signs, or to hold lights, or to do, to be an assistant. And progressively you can start making money. But in the beginning, it's lean.
Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate your time, and have a good one.
Thank you. And you can go to my website. It's coronadobeachproductions.com. And you can see some of our film clips and some of the work that we've done. And, that would be a good thing.